Coming to you in three, two, ladies and gentlemen, and everyone in between. With all due respect, it's your boy BK, back for another episode of the 2020 vlog, The Road to Cooking It Right. And appreciate the support everybody has given. It's been an interesting 24 hours. So, and we oddly enough, I was not planning on even putting out a vlog today, but I had this status that I was putting up just to show you. And the thing about it is, I was putting up the status, and I spent a long time typing it. And what's crazy about it is, I decided to stop creating it because it was going to look like a chain status, and I didn't want people to like overlook it. It's an important thing to me, and I feel cringy every time I talk like this, because I'm not a super churchy or spiritual person, but I got to give it up to the Big Dawg, man. It's been a great year so far. My journey to this point in my life didn't start just because it was a new year, new me type of thing. I'm a constant production project, the longest form video editing project that I've ever created is my own life, and trying to include the right pieces and elements of suspense and danger and intrigue and romance so that I can feel fulfilled on a day-to-day basis. And while I don't talk about this, and while it's very possible that I could lose a lot of people, I got to give it up to the Big Dawg. God is absolutely real. And even if you don't believe, there was a period of time where I could not believe. The way I think and the way I behave and the analytical side of my mind that has developed as I've become more and more mature has made it hard for me. What made it hard for me at one point to really just accept the truth that's out there, if I'm being very X-Files-ish about it. But anyway, I say all that to say you don't have to believe in anything. Even my belief system, if I get really into it, may be very different from yours. I don't go to church. It's not really my thing, at least at this point in my life. Not saying that it won't be at some point, but it's just not me. I kind of like to have a more personal walk, if that makes sense to you. But regardless of what you believe, it's important that you believe in something higher than yourself, even if your belief system is just in your system of democracy or just in the intrinsic value of being a servant leader or in just having morals, whatever it may be. It's important that you aspire to something beyond, because it's what makes us higher beings. And I don't mean that in the super spiritual sense, like stone tablets and crystals and energies and tarot cards. There's a place for that, and that's not in this conversation. What I mean by the intrinsic value and your higher self, what I mean by that in this instance is being a good citizen and being a good human being and drinking water and having a great attitude on a day-to-day basis. I spent so much of my life being upset and stressed out about things, and it's incredibly freeing when you just decide to cut the bullshit and just be in the moment, be present, and be just a good human being. And that's what I'm trying to do, and it's kind of made room for me to do the things that I'm doing right now, and to have time and have a place of feeling like I'm even qualified to even have a video like this. There was a time where I wanted to make a video like this, and I just really felt so cringy about it and felt so, who am I to speak about it? But who better to speak on my truth than me about it? I may not be an expert at life, but I'm an expert about how I feel. And the best part about having that, learning to have that attitude, is if you combine that with my default, which is I could care less what you have to think. And it combines very well to where I'm kind of fearless about being transparent. To be totally honest, I wish somebody was this transparent with me at a certain point. And I've had people who have been that, but I think at some point somebody has to be willing to look like a fool in order for somebody to be helped. So if I help one person have a much better day, drink a glass of water if nothing else, then yeah, that's what it is. All right, so I'm at work at my office. Came in early to take care of things so that the guys didn't have to work super early. We have a pretty full production weekend, so I got my bulletproof coffee with the butter and MCT oil in it. I don't even really like that lighting. Let's hit it on this side. There's really no good place because like the lighting is like up there, so it is like the worst thing. I'll tell you what I can do. See, I don't have my cool ring lights and stuff that I normally have at home. I'm gonna make it super dark. And then what I'm going to do is I'm gonna take my lighting system and make it a key light, a single key light. Pretty harsh. Oh, that's pretty good. I was gonna bounce it off the wall. Oh, I like that. I like this nicely diffused. I think that's kind of cool. It's kind of grainy. It's better than it being harsh though. So let's do it that way. Nicely diffused light. How you guys doing? Let's get started. Let's get the vlog going even more so. Okay, so in the last 24 hours, it's been kind of crazy. What kind of has me in this mood of being grateful and thankful is, one, if you're given a blessing, you're given an opportunity, it's important that you pay that forward as soon as possible, because the whole point of great things in the universe happening to you is so that you can pass that energy along. When something strong comes and influences you, you got to get rid of that as soon as possible, because it's selfish to just hold on to it. It gets stale and it negates the point of it coming through you in the first place. The more wisdom you give away to people, you know, it's believed in the past that, you know, in the business that I'm in production, when I was coming up, it was very often that if there was a new secret camera coming out, or if there was a new tactic in making awesome video, or if you had a company that was paying really well in the Atlanta area, you kept it a secret because you didn't want people to compete with you. But what I learned early on, and what's made me successful, is that you need to link people up. When energy comes your way to really be successful, you need to pass that along as much as you possible. Connect people together, help people find things. Because as soon as you empty out your cup of wisdom that you have, the more room you can make to learn new experiences. If you hold on to the tactics and the strategies that you've had in the past, you get stale. So I try my best to be adaptable. I wouldn't even be doing the cooking thing if I kept doing things the way I've always done them. You make mistakes, you test, and you move on. And when blessings come your way, you pass them on to more people. So what am I referring to, blessings? I'm a part of this like Facebook group that, and it sounds silly, but it's this cooking Facebook group. And I've been trying to get posts on there forever, but for some reason, I finally got a post that was approved. And the response has been incredible and incredibly vindicating, approving. It's one thing to be trying to go into cooking. I have a friend named Stephanie who we went to high school together, and she went through the whole education process of becoming a chef and all of that stuff. And I asked her not so long ago about the process, and the way my brain works, school doesn't work well for me. I don't do well I was a terrible student. When I graduated high school, I legit had to beg my Algebra 2 teacher right before graduation to give me a passing grade because I legit didn't really pass all that well. So it's not that I'm a dumb person. I'm an incredibly smart person. I just don't do well with the classical education model. So I always do better doing my own thing. When I got in college, actually, my mentors were really good about letting me either design classes for other people or be a leader in class. That's the best way I learn because I'm doing my own thing. I'm out there in the pioneer area always. I'm always out doing stuff that people aren't thinking about because that's what motivates me. That's what gets me thinking. So, to not go to cooking school, to not go through the process of going to like little Cordon Bleu or something like that, and to be taken seriously by other chefs is kind of crazy to me. And that's what happened yesterday. An incredible amount of people who, this group, they normally roast people when they show their food. It was by and large overwhelmingly positive, and the outpouring of support that I need to keep going, and hey, you need a show and you need to do something with this talent. Y'all have to understand, while I'm doing all these things, it may seem like I'm incredibly confident. I'm not. It takes a village of people constantly inboxing me and having my food and trying my food and saying, you are enough. You are enough. And to all my creatives out there, you're fucking enough. Like, you gotta stop. At some point, you gotta grow up. At some point, you gotta stop worrying about whether or not you're enough. Because there are people far less talented than us out there that they just do what they do. There are people out there that are born into wealth and into opportunities that they don't think twice about taking over their parents' business or being great. Being great is just what's expected, and that's just what they do. It's not pompous. It's not selfish to take yourself seriously. It's not an act of tricking yourself into being lofty. It's not an act of hubris to decide to be great. You've seen me post statuses about being great, but I've had an incredible struggle with self-confidence. And it had a lot to do with me not being sure of my faith as well. I think it's been closely tied to that. It's also tied to things from my past, from my childhood, that I don't want to get into right now. But just know the message of this particular vlog is not about me. Okay? If you have something inside you that you have worked 20, 30,000 hours. People talk about 10,000 hours and you're supposed to be, like Malcolm Gladwell says, you're an expert. I'm talking about the people who've like 30 to 40, 50,000 hours in what they do and still don't feel good enough. At some point, you have to put yourself out there and you have to take a risk. It doesn't mean you're going to be a millionaire. My job is not to be a millionaire. It's not my job to become rich and famous. It's not my job to become something that people celebrate. It's my job to be the best version of myself that I can be. And if people feel that, that's on them. But I'm not worried about that. At this point in my life, I'm concerned with being comfortable. And people say it's weird to be comfortable, but hear me out. I'm trying to be comfortable in my own skin so that I can lay down the tension and the burden of feeling like, am I good enough? The anxiety that builds up, the overeating, the stress, all of that. I know I'm preaching to y'all right now because I'm preaching to myself. I can't believe the stuff I'm saying, but I'm saying it. You are fucking enough. I'm saying that to myself. I'm saying that to you. Let's be great, y'all. Let's stop asking for permission to be great. Let's stop asking for forgiveness to be great. Let's stop waiting for the perfect lights to make vlogs. You know, do what you got to do when you feel the moment, when you feel led to. Be qualified now. Do your work. You can't. Now, I'm not talking to y'all who's amateurs out there. You ain't put the work in. Okay? It's funny how when you have not put the work in, you are the most brave. When you have not done anything yet, you're incredibly brave. You are willing to make all the mistakes. And the more wisdom you get, and y'all know what I'm talking about. my creatives out there, y'all know what I'm talking about. The more you know about the business, whatever business that may be into, the more scared as shit. Yo, I know it sounds like I don't know God, but I have to speak in a language that I am in, and I've gotten to the point where I'm gonna speak the way I feel like being spoken to, and I feel like the Creator understands because they created me and they understand. Don't trip, you ain't through with me yet, but I'm just trying to be real, okay, and speak from the heart and not edit myself. And I'm just saying, the more, I wish I was like that guy when I was 21, 22 years old, and I was willing to make all kinds of mistakes, and I wasn't thinking about what I was doing. And it seems like along the way, the more qualified I got and the better I got at what I was doing, somewhere along the way, I got scared. And I'm just sick of being scared. And I got a feeling I got some homies out there, some people watching this video that feel the same way. If you need to inbox me to get some cheerleading, go ahead, hit me up. Look, I'm the best at beefing people up. That's not me. So I'm real good at helping you come up with ideas and helping you get on out there, because it distracts me from what I need to be doing. I can always say, hey, here's what you need to do. Here's how you get your career going. So feel free to inbox me. I'm happy to give you advice. And if you just need somebody to make you feel good, tell you that you are enough, I'm happy to do that. But at some point, the day has to, at the end of the day, and the day has to end at some point, we got to get out there and we got to be great. And that's what I'm out here doing. I know you feel me. I've been your boy BK, trying to live life the play way and trying to help you learn how to cook it right. Hashtag cooking it right. Coming in March. Holla at you.